Sgt Slumbers ASMR. I'm back again with another comic book video for y'all. This time I'll be showing you one of my favorite comic book runs of all time. One of my favorite Justice League runs of all time, to be more specific. What I have you for today are 4 paperback volumes of JLA by Grant Morrison. Along with him is artist Howard Porter. So this is JLA. As you can see, you have your core lineup, but this was during the late 90s when it was after a couple of years or so that there wasn't a main Justice League team, so it was all just a bunch of random members teamed up together. Well, not random, but like I'd say they are not the A-list comic book characters, like the B-list. So these are like teams like Justice League Detroit, Justice League Europe, Justice League Task Force. So there are a lot of titles before, during the 90s when they weren't really having a major presence in the overall DC universe at the time. So it was up to Grant Morrison, superstar writer Grant Morrison, to change things up a bit and make drastic lineup changes to bring back the glory days of the Justice League at the time. And it was bringing like a pantheon of like these 7 members that are really at the top, that are really leaders of their own. And specifically, we have this interesting lineup because when the Justice League performed, they were actually they originally had Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, The Flash, Aquaman, and eventually Batman, Superman joined. So we have this like kind of a back to basics here, but with some changes. So you still have Superman. Yes, so this was like after his death. Well, a couple of years or so after his death. So he's sporting here a mullet. So this was the era where Superman is wearing a mullet, and then we have Batman, of course. We have Wonder Woman. We have The Flash, but this isn't The Flash. Barry Allen, but this is Wally West. This was during the time when his popularity really is at its peak. Then we have Green Lantern here, Kyle Rayner. This isn't Hal Jordan, this isn't John Stewart, but this is Kyle Rayner, who eventually took up the mantle when Hal Jordan became parallax. He quote unquote died and disappeared and all. So, and then we have Aquaman here with a much more I'd say my favorite costume of his. It's the one with the harpoon hand, the one with the longer hair, the beard, and of course you can never leave out Martian Manhunter. It's probably the heart and soul of like the Justice League team. The Justice League teams he's in. So yeah, so this is volume 1. Now here you get a closer look at the cover of the first issue. So this was the cover of the premiere issue of this particular run. So this is one of like the first paperbacks that I got when I was younger. This was I think it came out around 2011 or 2012. This particular edition. So that was with the still the then DC logo, which was this one. So what I actually have here are like 4 volumes of runs that I have yet to show you guys, but maybe that's for another video. Sorry, I keep burping off cam, but yes, so yes, as you can see, it's really old. It has been in my bookshelf for so long. So there you go, a much better look at the first issue. Such a beautiful cover, such an iconic one too. So Howard Porter has remade this kind of placement of the characters throughout the years. So it's still an iconic picture. So this art style may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I like it. Like, it brings so much color. It brings so much. Oh, look at this! Such an expressive colorator here. And also, the pages are they're glossy, but they're kind of thin, so they're kind of prone to getting rips, but luckily my copy is still intact. So as I flip through these pages, I won't actually spoil what happens, because like, of course, I would recommend you read them personally. But basically, yes, what I do love about Grant Morrison is the way he builds these worlds, these characters. Like, I'll get into it with some of my favorite story arcs that span across a couple of issues later. So, but yeah, I forgot to tell you, this volume collects JLA issue number 1 to 9 and Secret Files issue 1. So, just your average, like, at the start of like a new run, there isn't like, well, there are a few issues in, like, a start of a run can have a story arc that immediately begins with the first issue until, like, let's say issue number 6, and then it really depends. But the first few issues of this run is, with the League eventually forming and then fighting off these aliens that come to Earth. So it's really right from the get-go, it's a blockbuster type of feel, which I really love. And of course, not to mention, eventually the League expands sooner rather than later, because we got new members, like reserve members, the lineup. And yes, Superman. This is Superman. Is actually there was a time when he was Superman Blue, and it was like, I think it was the start of this run, but eventually you can see him being this blue, electric blue. I haven't really like read the particular issue when he changed into this one, but I'll get into it someday. So it was one of the highlights of Superman in comics in the 90s. So, but yeah, going back to the reserves, we have like I think this is Tomorrow Woman. This is Steel. Is this I forgot. But this is Plastic Man. This is Connor Hawk. This is Green Arrow's son. Oh, there you go. You have the names. Yes, this is Green Arrow, and then Aztec Warrior. This is Guy Gardner when he isn't a Green Lantern at the time. Supergirl, Steel. Yes, Hitman, Damage, Artemis, Max Mercury. There are a whole lot of like cameos and appearances from the expanding like DC universe. And yes, like I love the moments when they're like just in the watchtower, going about their days, and eventually fighting off threats from anywhere. eventually becomes an integral part at some point when he was needed. So this was a fun issue because yeah, it's up to him to save the Justice League because there was like they were like trapped in this like alternate like Elseworlds. They're trapped in this like dream stasis, I think. It's been a while since I've read this, so. But yeah, and eventually this volume also has the Secret Files, issue number 1. So it's more of like a kind of like side issue where you can read it. So just like a day in the life with Martian and Hunter here. So yeah, it's been pretty fun. So I got this when I was like way younger. And eventually, like with my lunch money, I try to save up and eventually get more back in high school. So this is volume 2. Like I remember reading this, taking this with me for because I only have like a few comics in my collection, and it's the type that I'd read over and over again. So this issues, I think this is where the story arc Rock of Ages begins with issue number 10 for volume 2. So this collects, it doesn't say, but yeah, it starts with issue number 10 up until like, I don't know, like 17 or 16. It also has a bonus JLA Wildcats crossover story. But yes, the Rock of Ages, when they had their like evil counterparts, and eventually Lex Luthor, the Joker, like they formed their own Injustice gang, Injustice League or something. There you go, that's the line up there. That's a real cool cover. And oh yeah, what I love about this run is that they have really great covers from Howard Porter, and like for example this one, like, it's just really out of the box, and you know, you could, if I had the chance, I would collect all of these issues, single issues, and just frame them because it really is a favorite of mine. So you got these big story arcs, and oh, okay, I said I won't spoil that much, but yeah, they eventually meet up with Darkseid around this part. So this JLA, man, this run has been like really, it feels like a love letter to the DC universe in a way that Grant Morrison really brings the Justice League to the spotlight. Like they are that important because they are like, they're like the first line of defense when Darkseid comes. So yes, they eventually go to Apocalypse. They meet the characters there, like Orion. They meet Metron, Mr. Miracle, and all that. And Plastic Man has been a blast in this run because he's just that goofy, but it's not a goofy character that you want to get rid of because his presence really adds to like the comedic tone to the team, and his dynamic with especially Batman. Like, you know, he works well with Batman, and I think they're also like guest artists here because I think this isn't drawn by, oh okay, yeah, there are like, this isn't drawn by Howard Porter, I believe. But yeah, you know. Okay, we have Secret Files number 2. It's all about. And oh yes, Prometheus. Prometheus is a really great JLA Justice League villain and a DC villain. I just love his backstory and how he fits well, you know, standing toe to toe against the Justice League. Because I think, yeah, he got to like beat all of them, I think. Okay, then we have Triumph here. Triumph is a character you wanna look up on. I'm not gonna spoil what happens to him here, but yeah, like yeah, again, the change in lineup and your roster changes. So yeah, that's JLA volume number 2. We're down to like the last 2, but this is where it gets exciting though. So JLA volume 3. Again, we have Mark Waid now. Mark Waid is co-writing the story. So this collects, okay, so this collects JLA issues number 18 to 31. So I believe at the time this was like one of the best selling DC Comics like titles every month when it was first published, like when it made its debut. So it really was a hot title and a lot of readers loved getting into this run. So I just love these types of like things when you get before the start of the story or like an issue, because you gotta like refresh yourself with who's who, like who's gonna appear in the issue, so you be in the know, and yeah, like just like this one, this roll call. Yes, this is what I was also thinking about, the roll call in comics. I think this was done like way back early on, like from the, I can't exactly pinpoint like a specific year, but I feel like it has been going around since like the golden age, I think, of comic books. But here you have Adam Strange. Here you have, yes, Orion here, Steel. Oh, okay. Now I think this is where Dream was in. Yes, Dream from the Sandman series crosses over with the Justice League because after all, he's a DC character. Well, Vertigo DC, but yes. Just love these moments with like, you know, it's not your typical like superhero story, but it goes in depth with like dabbling into different kinds of genres, and I love that, especially for the Justice League, because it can grow stale when you have like most superpowered heroes, and like you gotta have some sense of innovation and some creativity, and that's what I love about this. Oh, is this the General Wade Ewing? So yeah, they stumble upon these villains here and there, you know, they have their solo team up, their respective team ups, not all members appear in one issue. lot of DC heroes. Yeah, Jay Garrick here. I think this is, yes, this is the crossover with the Justice Society, with the JSA. As you can see here. JSA crossing over with the JLA. So yeah, Triumph comes back. So more than just like a Just League, or like a Just League title, you're actually getting like most of these, ins and outs, the spaces of the DC universe, which is really cool. So yeah, that was, oops, that is volume number 3. Now down to the last volume for now, because this is when, like, the final, before Grant Morrison left the title to hand the keys to Mark Waid, who eventually goes solo, taking the reins of the title from here on out. So this collects issue number 32 to 46 of JLA, and this is where it gets going. Like, you get really great story arcs from here, like the Tower of Babel. That was a really good run, like a story in itself. Like, you get Batman. Like, this was a tad bit into like the Just League Doom animated movie. This is when Batman had contingency plans for the Justice League members, like even his friends. He has contingency plans, of course, because he's Batman. And he would just, plan these weaknesses, these traps for them, and eventually they begin to lose trust on him after, because, like, why would you do that? Back to the apocalypse, back to the New Gods. Mr. Miracle here. So this is World War III. So after, like, I believe it was after, was it? Yeah, it wasn't after, oh no, okay. So it was the Tower of Babel storyline is issues later. So, sorry, my bad. But yes, there's also another story of World War III, where it feels like, it feels like the end, the third act of everything DC. So World War III was when, like, even the humans join in the fight. Because, the world is ending. Let me find that. So that's World War III. And okay. Is this? Yes, this. Yes, this is like that cover that I was thinking about. So yeah, we have the other heroes. You also got, like, others joining the fight. The battle for Earth. your thing, so don't listen to me. But yes, so after that World War III, like you got like filler issues, and then you get the Tower of People. This is Tower of People. You get Ra's al Ghul entering the story. So, like, apart from like, you know, world-ending scenarios, you get these small scale, but you know, they still feel big and grand because at the end of the day, they're like superhero stories. But you get these, you know, within the members kind of like story that you get to see them lose their trust. They're fighting each other and all that. So the manipulation from like Ra's al Ghul and all. So that's Tower of Babel. I think it's widely regarded as one of the best Justice League stories of all time. Go look that up. I'm not making that up. But yeah, so after this run, you get like, you know, another refresh, another leaving the door open on like more members, more a fresh start. So yes, so this is Grant Morrison saying goodbye to the JLA run with around this time. So if you haven't check this one out, you got to. If you start with volume number 1, you can just see if it's part of your tastes. But yeah, if you're a fan of Grant Morrison, you haven't checked this one out, go. If you want to get to read more Grant Morrison, I know he's a mixed bag when it comes to comic book fans, because he writes a lot of like convoluted stuff that sometimes he leaves out and doesn't go back to. But I'd say he's one of the brilliant writers of comics, and one of the influential, I'd say. I love his run on New X-Men, of course All-Star Superman. You got his Doom Patrol and Animal Man. So yeah, Grant Morrison. Wish I could meet him someday. But yeah, this has been just a quick show and tell of my paperbacks. Because I'd love to make more comic book videos and just show you my, you know, what I read, what I love, going back to what my taste in comic books are. So I love that, and I love the Justice League as a whole. I love JLA, so I can make more of this in the near future. Just let me know. And this has been Sgt Slumbers ASMR. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you relaxed. Me whispering about Grant Morrison, about JLA, about these superheroes.